they're having the jitters that you mentioned earlier before the series even started, and they have to patch it up.
Is that going to be the thing here? Is that going to be the problem going forward here for the team? Because so far, this might be one of the problems that they need to look at. Is that how are they going to be answering that problem that they had? Rolster.RY going to be picking up the Camille that was freed up by JTeam. And this could potentially change things. They banned the Fiora, which is usually the enemy to fight against whenever a Camille happens. But remember, there's still a Renekton and there's still a Riven to fight hand in hand against this Camille.
Good pick though. I think KT wants to be the one setting up the tempo this time, but that leaves something very open here. That is a favorite of the CN Conference, the Zoe. It's 100% ban or pick in that region. If you give it up, someone will take it. And JT, they immediately spot that opportunity and lock it in for Berry. They also as available for themselves. So in terms of setting up, in terms of crowd control, it's coming out pretty massive here on this red side team.
Yeah, I do hope to see a lot more from them though. With this, from JTeam, Zoe being available, this could potentially change things. We haven't seen a Zoe for so long during this whole series, and on the 4th game, or rather the 5th game of the day, we have a Zoe. And a Gwen too, together with that. And that's, I think,
wow,
this is going to be exciting. It's a lot of AP heavy picks for JTeam. What will be the caveat? What is going to be the difference maker here on their second phase picks? That could mitigate all the APs. That's a lot of AP though. That could potentially be the AD answer that they have here.
Yeah, KT so far doesn't have any tank. Maybe the Wukong a little bit in terms of the front line, but it's not the same as the others, you know. Maybe when they actually pick up a support, can be something that can actually negate most of these engages coming from JT, especially the burst that they do have. I mean, this Gwen is gonna scale up so heavily towards the late game alongside with the Zoe. It's going to be very problematic for them. Yeah, it's mostly AP as of the moment, but the damage still remains the same, and no one from the first 3 picks here on Rolster.RY can actually survive the burst coming in from these champions. Maybe the Camille of Ratel, if ever he is going to be the one piloting this champion, but the others are going to shiver in fear for sure. This is one of the reasons why the Zoe is 100%, is almost 100% pick or ban in the CN Conference. It's just so massively making impact when it's used by a talented player, and JT, they are very talented in using this.
Yeah, and with the Ezreal, the Ezreal and the Karma gets picked on the side of Rolster.RY, which is really surprising for me. This is something that you see in League of Legends PC, and you don't see a lot in Wild Rift. Having the Ezreal Karma on paper should be okay, but because of the composition of JT with what they have on set, this is going to be forcing them. Look at the way that this was set up for JT. They do have Olaf, and they have 4 magic damage champions. What are you going to do when the Olaf pops up? Are you going to build armor, or are you going to build magic resist? Because most of them are magic damage too. So that's going to be a problem that Rolster.RY needs to face. Because the problem that JT needs to face is there's a lot of AD. That's easily can be itemized right here for JTeam, which is just a lot of armor on their side.
Yeah, and it's such a scary lineup actually here for JT. You have so much frontline, have so much scaling potential as well. And I don't think there's gonna be anyone that can stop the Olaf, except for maybe, you know, if KT can actually be able to burst him down. I mean, you have a lot of pokes in your kit, especially with the Karma, Ezreal, and the Jace as well. Yeah, you're banking on, and maybe that's a good strategy here, because that's something that they have struggled in the previous game against JTeam, because they could not contest them head on. But still, the cons are still present here in this kind of lineup. Who will serve as a frontline? Who will go up against the Olaf and the Gragas and face off the Gwen as well? Nobody can actually tank that. And that's something that JT can actually take on this game. They will have no hesitations to go in against KT Rolster.
Yeah, that is how they are going to be going around this. How are they going to be moving forward on this game with, as you said, there's a bit of problems that they need to think about whenever it comes down to it. How are they going to be facing against them? There's a lot of frontline power for them, but this bot lane might have some problems.
Yeah, the poke is still present and massively useful in the laning phase. So that's something that we are going to be looking forward towards KT Rolster. And they should be trying consistently to throw at DY and Berry, of course. This might be good actually, because if KT will be able to keep DY in place and try to protect Berry, then he won't be able to do the thing that he was doing against Du earlier. Tracking him down and interfering with his farm. This time is a much safer early game for KT Rolster.
Yeah, with the early game in favor of the members right here of Rolster, they do have a bit of damage, but with what we're seeing, the Gwen versus Wukong matchup has always been there. But the problem here is that the Gwen deals a lot more damage and has a lot more sustain, which is why Rattel is having a hard time here.
Speaking of having a hard time, you might see so far KT maybe having a bit of a hard time as well, you know, whenever Yezi and DY land their pokes as well. But so far they're doing a really good job, forcing Yezi to actually back away and reset for a bit. So that is a huge win already here for KT in terms of, you know, keeping things in check and holding the members of JTeam in place. That's the key here. You know, if they want to control, if they want to pace it slow in this game, then they have to pin down the members and keep them in check at all times.
Yeah, keep them in their place. That's going to be what's important here for them, though. Is that how are they going to be making sure that the members right here of JTeam are not going to be having the easier time? Because a while ago, yes, they were able to make work of that early game advantage. Those early game kills that they had were pretty important, but they weren't able to translate it into anything. JTeam was taking everything against them.
Oh, definitely. Let's see though, as we do witness Rattel and Dawn just poking each other most of the time, but we haven't seen any jungler go towards topside just yet. It's only a matter of time before they actually check that area, especially that, you know, Du actually has more gap close potential than 0711. But he is sitting on bot side. I think both of them, in fact, a little bit on the bot side. Trushan Barrage gonna come through. DY? Ooh, almost getting taken down, but Du is just staying here, waiting for the opportunity if ever DY and Yezi actually comes through. But on top side, Rattel forced a little bit back because of those needles.
Yeah, Dawn is just massive here in the top side because of the amount of damage and the amount of sustain that they have here. It's gonna be good. And also fighting out!
Yeah, Ice Hextech Ultimatum, but it's a damage, it's
the
AoE,
body
and
slam
it's
cancel!
7-11. Oh no! Unfortunate there for Du. Will fall down, and that will allow JTeam to set tempo once again. Plate's gonna come through, and KT gonna lose their bot lane.
What? They just lost that, and now because of the look at this. This is the reason why they picked the Camille, right? They want to get the counter there, but because they didn't have any mana starting this fight, it was just suicide for them on the side of Rolster. Why?
Really questionable, and the reasoning why they actually engaged her. Yeah, DY was very low. They also run a risk of having insufficient damage because of your mana being so low. And it just was punished easily there by JTeam. Now, we set into a stalemate once again, but it's actually much more suitable here for JT. Because all they want to do right now in this game is have the stability, survive the pokes. That's the only thing they need to do, because when the objectives spawn up, when the late game comes through, they'll have the tools, if ever, to actually engage and even just take some of the damage that KT will be throwing at them.
Yeah, and now with that, the problem here is how are they going to answer all of this damage sources from the side of the JTeam? Because even if they do have damage, they won't have enough defenses to actually survive them, which is why what they need to do here is just to push them away as early as they can get, because there's 3 insurances that they have in JTeam for the late game, and if they are the ones winning the early game, that is just going to be a lost angle for the side here of Rolster Y.
Speaking of the angles, KT has absolutely no angle to contest this Ocean Drake. 0711 is taking right now. And since they haven't started the RH, well, JT has one thing in mind right now. Why not take both? Since KT doesn't want any of this. And what can you do when you have a poke composition? Well, you can poke, but when they do engage, that's going to be troubling for you. Rattel has no way anymore. Dawn, with the help of DY, secured that kill onto the Wukong. With a numbers advantage, you can actually contest this thing. Why is KT starting this very late? This time, JT can actually interfere. Barry gonna be landing that sleepy trouble bubble after the paddle star, and the steal gonna be coming through. Now with Exec ultimatum, okay, KT gonna be trying to do some damage. Maybe gonna kill DY. Goes deep massively, but Barry is there. 0711 is pummeling through Nomel, chasing them down and even flashing in to secure the kill. KT, they're being too reckless now.
2 kills on the board, and also they got the referral on their side. This is what we said during that game a while ago. Once they get the jitters, that is going to be a problem here for Rolster. Why? Because as long as this happens, when they got the first win, the confidence right there, look at how they played this. Look at how JT is confident on a 3v4. They're confident that even without DY, they can go for fights there. DY died here, but it's okay. They got the referral anyway, and they got a kill trade after that, which was what's important there for the side right there of JT. The undertow was able to hit, and that was end for Rolster White. Getting a 1-1 at that time was not supposed to happen for them.
Impeccable punishment as well. Knowing that KT Rolster started that Rift Herald way too late, it was only a linear decision coming from JT, especially after they got the kill onto Rattel before actually going towards the Rift Herald. And now we do see it reflecting a little bit on the old gold graph. 2.7, almost 3,000 gold lead taken here by JT on a scaling lineup. It's going to look a little bit more scary for KT Rolster if they don't find any way to tag this. So, it's going to be very difficult. If you're the coach here of KT Rolster, if you're here, what would I actually tell them to do now, Dash? Because I think stalling this game out will not suit them. Forcing a fight will do no good as well.
Yeah. One of the things that they need to do here, though, for Rolster Y is just to be patient, because they do have a lot of damage from Luna later on, and even on the late game, they might possibly be able to just single out a lot of the members here. So that is something that they need to go for, is that they wait for the chance for Luna to get those items. Once Luna gets items, that's when you try to go for a fight, and that is on the second objective. That is when they should fight, because that is when most of their firepower are going to come through.
Yeah, especially the true shot barrage later on, paired up with the AU damage coming in from the Mel's Karma. Maybe they have an angle here. If they can actually funnel all those burst damage towards the members of JTeam, they might have a fighting chance. But they need to have that penetration power, especially with the amount of frontline stability and durability on the side of JTeam. With Olaf, with the Gragas, going to be very difficult. Damage of the true shot barrage is not really high as of the moment, as we do see it hitting 0711. Now they go under the tower. Numel will just get taken down. Oh, so bad. Wait. And they even go again. Oh my god! Zoe!
Barry? Okay, I thought they're gonna die, but with what we've seen there, DY has always been the element right here for JTeam to actually be able to find those opportunities. But yet, see, fighting 1v1. 1v1, and now with this is gonna be the kill, and that is Yazzie going to be able to get one more. JTeam 4 kills, or rather 4 kill advantage on the board. That just is unfortunate for the side right here of Rolster Y. Gaining the advantage in the early game was what's important for them, but because they weren't able to, this is just really hard for them to make work of. Right now, referrals is going to be available, and this is when a fight is going to happen again. But because Rolster Y was not in position before that happens, this is going to be a problem because that's an easy take for JTeam.
JT as well looking for angles in this game too. You know, trying to catch some of the members here of Rolster Y. And now as 0711 has picked up this RH, now they have a linear move going towards this Mountain Dragon that I'm actually getting a little bit nervous for KT Rolster. Sleepy Trouble Bubble gonna be connecting onto the Karma now. They're just gonna be going in. Unfortunate there for Nomel. Now 4 versus 5. What can you do? The Paddle Stars just keep on connecting from Barry. And yeah, you just have to disengage now. This is JT's objective and no one can stop them. Zero trying to look for that shock blast, but to no avail. JT is just being so clean right now in most of these fights.
Yeah, they don't really want this to happen though. Whenever it comes down to it, they don't need to fight right now, but because they are being forced to fight on these first objectives, they are always being forced to react, and that's what JT wants. They force them to react, and they know that they have the advantage. They're gonna be taking it, and Rolster Y has always been taking the bait. Look at this. Look at how this fight started for the side of Rolster Y. They were scrambled. Nomel was free for the taking, and because Barry was able to get that trouble bubble, it was easy enough. And this is why you don't leave the Zoe open, because this gives opportunities for aggressive teams like JT or disciplined teams like JT to actually go aggressive.
The opportunities that can be laid out with the Zoe, especially when the 3P Trouble Bubble connects. This is one of the reasons why it was highly popular, hugely popular, even in the League of Legends PC way back. Whenever it's open, it's taken. Nobody will ban it away as well. But in here in Wild Rift, it can be used in almost any part of a game, any kind of composition. You have that burst, you have that stability, you have that mobility as well because of the portal jumps, and the damage is just massive, especially that you can even use this as a flex pick. You know, you can use it in the mid lane and in the bottom lane, and JT with Barry using it even in the mid lane because the Corki was used here by Yezi. The adjustments was just so perfect here for JT. Not much can be made, and oh my god, that's just one paddle star? Oh no, delivery system, ignite, the shield. Alright, he lives, but they got a better one, the tower here in the mid lane, and nobody can actually stop them from pushing.
Yeah, and that's a problem here. Even with Du having the Camille Haxic ultimatum, they can't even fight the fight against 0711. Now, that is an easy call because they backed away for a bit. Baron is going to be taken by JTeam. And there is no answer whatsoever, not even a flinch from Rolster Y. Okay, that was close.
That was low. Okay. At the very least. But still, JT having the stability. It's, well, the curtains are closing now for KT Rolster, definitely. So if you're KT Rolster right now, I'm trying to look for an angle here that they can actually take, but given the lineup that they have, it's just so difficult to do so. The Wukong doesn't have that much damage. Nobody can stop the Olaf or even, go against the Olaf at all. And no one can reach a backline as well towards the Berry because of all the protection provided. The damage coming in from Dawn 128 as well is massive throughout this game. And if they give space, trying to split push towards the top side, it gives the room for JT to actually go towards this mid lane and bottom lane.
Yeah, and with what we're seeing, this is just gonna be the end of it for Rolster Y. But again, you still have a fighting chance. One fight that they can take down Barry, that could potentially be the thing that they need here for the side of Rolster Y.
Let's see if they can actually prevent them from taking this game out of them and securing this 2-0. They will lose their mid inhibitor tower. Bottom lane is next. Battle Stars missing, but still he has a million chances to do so. And their primary goal is to just get this inhibitor bottom lane just in time for a reset. And with this, actually, they already done their job. I mean, 10k gold lead secured. Few more seconds before the next dragon actually spawns up. It is actually quite interesting to see that it's just 15 minutes of the game, but we're already seemingly coming into a conclusion of this game.
Yeah. And the easier we go, we are seeing them just really slowing it down for themselves, for JT especially, that they really just want to take these objectives. They took down 2 inhibited turrets already, so that's a lot of space for themselves. So this could really start them for this next one. 15 seconds of the clock, and this is when it starts.
Let's see. KT so far, checking the area here in the bottom side river. That provides safety for Ratel 0, but Ratel is actually stuck here. Might need to just disengage. He will do, but JT will commit onto the fight. Yeah, you can throw your Cyclone, but everyone will not hesitate. This is the lineup of JT. They can just tank in the damage and push through those damage of their own. Yezi even being in the front line right now, chasing down Zero, forcing the flash away. But DY chasing him down as well. While all that's happening, the Dragon is just taken there by 0711. And Zero just blown up to pieces there. They just end this game right now. Yezi and the DY and Barry just waiting for the allies. Ooh, almost onto Luna. Yezi very low. Zonias to avoid that executing damage. And it's just going to be a clean victory. A clean 2-0 as JT takes down KT.RY Rolster.
And that's going to be a win. Really unscathed, flawless for the side of JTeam, getting a 2-0 against Rolster Y. With the way they macroed during this game, it was just massive.